Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from incubusfly.wordpress.com and thank you for joining me again for another card making tutorial. So if you caught me yesterday you will have seen me make some lovely cards with the Mini Mates bundle, and these are they. So I did a pink version and a blue version, and with the wonderful die cut in the middle there. So I thought we'd carry on with the theme, as I had some of these papers cut up. So if you look back at yesterday's video, you'll see how I cut these papers, and I ended up with several pieces to use. So I thought we'd continue on the theme as I had the materials. And as I say, I've used the Mini Mates stamp set again with the same sentiment and using the Melon Mambo ink like I did yesterday. And I've also kept, for this particular card, the feminine version, I've kept the small blooms in the Magenta Madness coloured rhinestones, and I've used the layering squares again to create these frames, as opposed to using the fussy die cut from the Mini Mates bundle, the Mini Medallions dies. The vellum I've brought in again, but instead I've used it to add these little sprigs to act as leaves for my flowers. So again, I'm using products that I'd already showed you. The only thing I've added here is the punch, this other punch. Okay, so another way to use stuff you may already have. Okay. So I'm just going to walk through, well, the blue version today, so there's no flowers or anything, but they're just punches anyway. Maybe we can, I haven't thought about whether we can add anything else. Maybe we can just use the vellum sprigs, just to give it some texture. So we're going to do the blue version, mix that up a little bit. And I have some pieces already cut. So you saw me cut the designer series paper yesterday, so look back at that if you would like to see it. And I'm still going to keep things simple by using a Whisper White card base. If you prefer a coloured one, then go ahead and do it. I just thought this would be in keeping with the white that we're going to use on the front for those frames. And just like yesterday, I'm going to put the dark colour at the bottom. Again, if you feel you want something different, go ahead. But this is my preference for the orientation of this. Okay. So make sure that's nice, and so very simple card base made. Right, so I want to show you what I did with these frames then. So I showed you my layering squares yesterday, but I'll show you them again today. The one die is missing to cut out my sentiment, which is exactly the same as what we did yesterday. Where have I put it? There it is. So this small die here, that's going to be my sentiment die, which I've got ready on a block, ready to mount up. Okay, and then I've die cut the frames using the other dies in the set. So this inner portion, this portion has been cut with the two largest in this section, and then this one has been cut with these two. Okay, but you could mix and match those. You can get a wider frame, so if you use the outer one and sort of the third one in, you'd get a thicker frame obviously. So yeah, sort of play with those, and I cut each one individually so I don't end up with any dies overlapping each other, because if dies overlap they will damage each other. So that's how I did that. So while we're talking about die cutting, we'll stamp the sentiment. So I'm going to use the Night of Navy ink, as I did before, and just stamp that onto some scrap cardstock. And we will die cut this with one of the squares that we used yesterday. Just place it over the top with the cutting edge face down, get it nice and centred. And run that through the cutting emboss. And then that will pop out of there nice and easily. Oops. Okay, so just as we did yesterday, I'm going to put some dimensionals behind this so that it comes to the front. So I'll get those ready. That's ready to video on. And the next thing we're going to do is play with these frames. So I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue. A thin bead of that, so you don't want it to squidge out the sides really. It will dry clear, but it's preferable for it not to escape in the first place. So just a thin line of glue around the edge of that, and then this one, same again, a thin bead of glue. This one, like we did yesterday, we played around and we offset one of them, so I'm going to offset this. And because we've used the wet glue, we've just got a moment to make sure that that's lined up, just like so. Okay, just for a different look instead of having everything just straight on. And then we can add our sentiment into the centre. So, just have it a little bit further over. Okay, so we've got a bit more of an interesting look to that by moving things around, and we'll take those sprigs and say it is more of a masculine colour, but you know, ladies like blue as well, right? And I'm sure some of our gentlemen folk don't mind a bit of pretty either. So again, just some dabs of glue on the ends of there, and tuck it behind the sentiment so we won't see those poking out. Oh, that's not gone in as far as I'd hoped because of the dimensionals, but that glue should dry clear, so just looks a little odd right now. I forgot about that because I put so many behind it, there wasn't enough room for it to, but it'll dry clear. Okay, there we go. And then on yesterday's we used the silver metallic pearls, so we'll do the same again. Scatter those around. I'm going to do 5, so I'm going to keep with my rule of odds, but I'm going to do 5 just to add a bit more interest. And there you go, a variation on the theme. Okay, so there they are side by side. What do you think? Really nice and simple, playing about with the layering shapes as well. And like I say, those were inspired by and kicked off by these cards. Okay, so I hope you like that variation. Okay, and as always, links are in the description. Do click on there, and you can add products to your basket. Don't forget, if you haven't already got a catalogue and you don't have a demonstrator, do let me know and I can send one on to you. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, bye.